Hi guys! I am going to plug in some headphones so you can hear me today. Okay, so welcome. This is episode 3 of Success with SASS, and I am so excited to continue to tell you that we really have opportunities as business owners. My vision is to truly make an impact as a success coach, as a business consultant. Small businesses matter. Hi, Chris. Hi, Avinash. Am I saying your name right? Hi, Scott. Hi, Ed. Hi, Kadeem. Where's everybody checking this out from? Chris, where are you at now? And I want to make sure, can everybody hear me? Can somebody write a message? Because I haven't done this with the earbuds yet. Can you guys hear me? Can you just give me a thumbs up or a like or yes, I can hear you? Okay. And Avinash, am I saying your name right? I'm going to make sure you can give me another thumbs up if I am. Hi, Jonathan. Hi, Tom. Okay, so it looks like some people are saying yes. Okay, great. And I am saying your name right? Avinash. I hope I'm not totally butchering your name right now. I'm good with Italian names, and other than that, we'll have to say hi, Tom. Okay, great. Is everybody from the US right now? Or are there some people abroad? Where is everybody coming in from? And Ed and Kadeem, welcome to this 3rd episode. Great. So let me give you a little bit of a background for those of you who are joining for the first time. This is a show really focusing on success with SASS. SASS meaning that you have something to say, that you want to have a business that has something that stands out. You have something. Oh, great. You're coming in from Los Angeles. Awesome. You're not far away in Santa Barbara. So SASS for me is an acronym for being successful, alive, and sexy smart. When I really was running my business, there was either a part where I was chasing all of the success side that I really didn't feel alive and I didn't feel soulful and sexy. I felt exhausted and overwhelmed. And I felt overwhelmed also with how to make really smart decisions about profit and how to get where I needed to go. Hi, Jill. Miss Jill's in the house. I really want that to change because one of the things that I constantly had as a young girl is my grandmother and my father both had businesses, but they were stressed. And there was a lot of messages that came my way that I just took as an entrepreneur and as a business owner. And it became work is tough, owning your own business is hard, and employees are hard to find, on and on and on. And so when I realized that there's a better way to do this, there really is an incredible way that we could be doing business and stand up for a business. When you are sassy, you have something to say. And ladies in business, I want to absolutely applaud you because when you have something to say, you can do it from a place of strength and a place of soulfulness without having to act like a man and not having to act like an overwhelmed woman. And men too. Men can absolutely connect in the way that needs to connect with their business. So thank you, Jill. I love you too, you sassy, successful lady. So what this show is about is really helping entrepreneurs and business owners that really want to make decisions in their business on how they can get ahead. And not just get ahead, this is not my purpose, is just to get you ahead, but to really give you an opportunity to pause for 30 minutes and go, okay, what are the decisions I'm making? Am I on track with where I need to be? And we're going to look at 4 different areas constantly. We're going to look at the issues that we might have with ourselves as business owners, or with our vision and our why, or with our team, or with our clients. There's a lot of opportunities we can work on. It's my personal vision as a success coach and a business strategist to help small businesses go beyond their wildest dreams, to really have sustainable and scalable success. Small businesses are the backbone of America. We collectively offer so many more jobs than the large companies. So really this is going to be about building that. Today, hi Diana, hi Matthew. Today, I really want to open up kind of a can of worms, but in a good way, because sometimes you have to go through and see, can everybody hear me okay? I just wanted to make sure with the headphones that I'm not too loud, too soft. So if you could give me a thumbs up or a like so I know that you guys can see, I'm in one of the new office spaces here at the Hub. So if you can see me okay and hear me okay, I want to keep going before I start training. So okay, good. Good. Everybody's on board. Awesome. So one of the things that I really recognized after going through a lot of the issues that I had in business and the successes I had is there's three major components that threaten our business every day as business owners and entrepreneurs. And oftentimes we're told just to hustle or to get more in it. And one of the things that I really recognize is that we sometimes need to look at what is our threat to our business and not just go to overwhelmed with what's the next thing. These D's will really help you. So let me walk you through them. And these D's, we're going to go through one D over the next 3 episodes. So if you know anybody who would really, really, as an entrepreneur or a business owner, wants to make sure they're getting ahead and they're not feeling overwhelmed anymore, tag them, invite them to this group. Let's really, really take an opportunity as small business owners and entrepreneurs and managers, a time for us to grow and support one another. This is huge for me. I didn't have this community when I was going through all the tough times. So tag somebody, invite somebody. Women in business, especially my SASS program, which is exclusively for women in business, that's coming out soon. So right now, women, men, anybody, this show's for everybody. All business owners welcome. So that being said, the 3 Ds that we're going to go through is distraction is the first one. Hi, Lamar. Distraction is huge. We're going to go through that probably next week. Distraction. Listen, today it is one of the toughest times to be a business owner or a manager or entrepreneur. There is distractions everywhere. The second thing I will go into, whoop, whoop, Lamar, I love it. It's so true. The second thing the D is discounting. Are any of you tired of the amount of discounting that you feel like you have to do to be in the marketplace to compete? I want to teach you tricks, and we'll go through that in 2 weeks. I'll teach you tricks on how you don't have to discount all the time. And if you are going to discount, how you can do it so strategically that you really make a difference and you have results. The third D is dumped. Dumped, there's 2 parts to dumped, okay? Let's go through this. Dumped, you can either be dumped by your team, meaning you're having high turnover, meaning that you're constantly looking at, okay, I have a team and then I'm spending a lot of time to get my team back in place, or you're being dumped by your clients or your customers. So I use the term dumped because it just stinks. It feels like you went through all this dating, right? Whether you're getting somebody hired and then you're teaching them and training them and getting them on board, or you're getting to this place of wanting to get a customer and you're doing a ton of work to get them to come and buy from you. And then if they don't come back, that kind of stinks. It feels like you're being dumped. Or the other thing you can see is if you spend a lot of time getting your team on board and then you suddenly don't have your team really performing well, you feel like they're just dropping the ball. And have any of you ever felt that? Have you ever felt like you've really invested in either your time with your team or time with your clients and then they suddenly weren't there anymore? They weren't performing? It's a frustration that really happens in today's world. And what can happen is that it can either be an excuse. We can either blame good employees are hard to find, or we can really learn about how can we keep it so that we're not getting dumped anymore. So I guess you could also say this is almost like dating advice and not to get dumped by your team or your customers. Don't ghost your customers and don't work with your team in a way that's going to let them dump you. So today what we're going to do, we're going to work on, because Lamar was so amazing and wrote this incredible post about what happens too many times, right, Lamar? What happens when you really adjust your attitude towards your team? What can happen? So it recognized that what we can really do is these 3 Ds are the huge issues that we all face every day. Today, diving into dumped. Now, let's start with your team. Is everybody that's watching, does everybody have a team or have employees that they work with or they do the hiring? Does anybody, or can you let me know, are you more of a solopreneur or are you an entrepreneur that has a team or a business owner that has a team? Lamar, I know you have a team. You're amazing. Great. Okay. So a lot of people have teams. this is a really important thing. Think about your team as Lamar put it, he put it so well. When you really are working with teams today, what you want to think about is the idea that you're just hiring and just training them and letting them do their job. That is no longer. And I know a lot of people say, okay, there's millennials and they work this way or they work that way. It's just the way that our society has grown because of what we all feel right now. We all feel this opportunity and this desire to be heard, to be understood. So when you go back in time to the Industrial Revolution, where it was really just about, listen, we need you to make a clock. We need you to make a shoe. We need you to make this. That was fine because you didn't really matter. They weren't posting on Facebook. They didn't feel a sense of community. They weren't building a personal brand. They were getting the job done. And now we have to understand that there's a whole different set of motives towards people getting a job done. It's no longer just the paycheck. Do you know that people are more willing to work harder for something they believe in and that they want to be a part in and be paid less than be paid more for something they have no opportunity or no desire? Let me give you an example. There was a study done where there was a ditch that had to be dug. And they took a team of people and they brought them out and they said on the side of the road, we need you to dig this ditch. It will give you $5 a day. The study was done back in, I think it was the 60s. They dug the ditch. And then at the end of the day, they said, we need you to fill the ditch back up. Everybody felt really frustrated, like their work was totally unimportant, but they did it. They got paid. When they were being paid, they said, okay, if you come tomorrow, we'll pay you double. And you're going to do the same thing over. Half of them showed up. Only 50% of them showed up. Then on the third day, they said, okay, if you come again, we need you to dig the ditch and fill the ditch again, and we will pay you double. So now we went from $5 to $20 in a day that these gentlemen would get for digging the ditch and filling it. Do you know that only 10 out of the 100 showed up? Then on the fourth day, because now we went from 5 to 10 to 20 to $40 a day, which was unheard of. Nobody showed up. The moral of the story and what they came across from that study was that they never told them why. They never had no passion. They never had any passion. Sorry, it was really bad English right there. Sorry. My mom, she would love it if she caught me doing that bad English. Sorry. No passion equals no performance, meaning that if your team doesn't feel like they can have passion behind them or they have their why or their vision and they don't feel heard, the opportunity for them to really be dedicated to you is very little. So one of the number one ways that you can really engage your team is make sure that you know who they are and you know the message that they want to bring into the world, and does it resonate with your message? For instance, let's say that you really want to work in a space of creating an incredible, healthy environment of olive oil and things that really matter. You want to make sure that your team has that same vision for their own lifestyle, that there isn't a symbiotic relationship between the two when they're coming on board. But one thing I will tell you is that skill does not matter as much as attitude. Attitude cannot be taught. So one of the huge eye-opening experiences that so many people have when they're hiring now is, what is the attitude? Because you can't teach attitude when you're coming on a team. You can't teach an attitude to somebody and say, hey, when you are here and you have radiant eyes, you have a great smile, and when you're coming on board, we love you, you have a great energy here, and even when you're having a bad day, you let us know. That can't be taught. That's not in an employee manual. You must have a good attitude every day. So one of the huge things that I work with the clients I have is, yes, you absolutely need to know the skills that need to be explained and taught, but don't hire just for that. Hire for the attitude. Hire for the way that that person will handle the job. Because your performance, not only for that person, but the rest of your team, will be tremendous. Let me also share with you that I learned the hard way that a bad attitude is like a bad cold. You can have a great performing person on your team, but if their attitude is one that's really negative and literally feeling like somebody has the nastiness, your team will catch it. And if you have a team of thoroughbreds, they don't want to hang out with a donkey. A donkey actually makes the thoroughbreds not perform. This is an important thing. Your team, if you spend the time with them, they will want to be there with you. So don't just tell them what you want to get done. Don't just say, okay, great, here, I hired you. This is the skills that you need, and then please go to work. Take the time to get to know who they are. Because when you truly know, this is what I stand for, this is the vision of the company, and you get to know the attitude and the vision of the person you're hiring, that relationship is so much more profound. You will find that you will not have to manage every single detail of the employees you have because you won't have to be a boss. You can be a leader. Now, that does take another set of skills because being a boss is easy. Being a boss and telling somebody to do something and expecting them to do it, it's way easier than being a leader. Being a leader means that you know what you're after and you recognize that you have to go first and you have to show with your attitude and you have to show what you really intend. Now, when I say that you don't have to micromanage, that doesn't mean to leave your team alone completely. What that means is that when you engage with your team, you do it from a sense of appreciation for who they are. Make sure you speak their language. Make sure you know what it is you want done and trust that it's going to get done. You do have to set very clear, quantifiable and qualifiable results from them. Does anybody here know what a SMART goal is? Has anybody heard of that? We'll go into this. I'll go into this more in a different episode because I think it's really great stuff. But when you are working with your team and you want to make sure that you have the attitude in place when you're hiring, because you do want thoroughbreds, it's really hard to get a group of donkeys to do much, right? So with your team with a great attitude, that has the healthiness of the team that you want, make sure you have also SMART goals in place, something that's specific, measurable, achievable, what are the results you want, and what is the time you want it in done. Because then if you say, great, I adore you, you're a great part of this team, this is what I need done, and this is what I need it done by. I trust you. And if you need help, come find me. And once a week, check in with me. Then you suddenly allow your team to flourish in a way that maybe they wouldn't have if you sat there and told them this is the only way you want something done. Maybe some of your team is more innovative. So as far as being done with your team, I want to tell you a really important fact. This is a scary fact. Does anybody know the Gallup poll percentage of how many team members are engaged at work nowadays? Anybody want to take a wild guess? Hi, Alejandro. Hi, Atif. Hi, Bobby. Lamar, do you want to take a guess? How many people, according to the Gallup poll, are actually engaged at the workplace today? This is a really crazy thing. So, 51%. 51%. That means they're only giving you 51%. An average employee, maybe you're getting 60%. That's not a lot. So one of the number one ways that you can truly see the difference in your team so that they don't dump you and you spend all your time and your money getting a new team is if you understand who they are beyond just the job that they're doing. And I don't mean that you have to absolutely spend every waking moment with them. You hire them to do a job, you don't have to do the job for them. But take an opportunity to assess them. Every business does something different. Some businesses do, I think we talked a couple weeks ago about the DISC profile. I personally love the fascination assessment. That's really what I have found is so successful with my clients, because when you truly get to know what language you speak and what language somebody else in your team speaks, you also get to see, wow, they might be in the right position if I move them. They may be the right personality, but in the wrong position. And it's a square peg, a round hole. And team members are incredibly important, and it's expensive to replace them and train them. And you're usually out revenue, you're out your time. It's a huge investment. And a lot of times I hear business owners talking about how expensive their payroll is, but you can turn that around. If you viewed your employees as an investment instead of an expense, that's basically like looking at them as a cherished item. You can suddenly think about it as, you know what, I didn't just hire this person, I didn't just buy them. I'm actually here to make sure that my investment, my return is there. So one thing I discovered is that when we had hired a salesperson and we had already had him in the role, we weren't really getting the engaged results we wanted. And then we did the assessment on him and we realized, well, he's very cautious and he's alert driven, which is great for a different role. It's great for managing details. It's great for managing bookkeeping. But with a salesperson, you want them to speak passion and power and innovation. So we really assessed our team and we made some changes and we said, okay, how can we make these changes? How can we look at the two opportunities at hand? And what we got was a better result. We got higher performance from both people because the other person who had a lot of passion was a person who we had put in a role that was full of details and alert. It wasn't really a great fit. And Lamar and I had discussed this on a Facebook post about how when you really find the right person and the right fit for the job and you know what language you're speaking and you know if they're, whether the DISC profile or the fascination, who they are, make sure that the job matches that because suddenly they're going to feel like they can perform in a way that is naturally their gifts and talents. And if you get to know what their value system is and it matches your value system, then you're automatically going to have this why that is the driving heart of keeping your team in place. Does all of this make sense? This is a lot of information I'm bringing you. And I really wanted to work off the team element because one of the number one things that I saw is the amount of stress I felt as a business owner when my team wasn't performing properly. The amount of stress I felt when, why isn't this happening on time? Or why isn't this happening in the right way? And I felt like I was chasing my tail. So if somebody would have come along and said, listen, if you focus on knowing your team and their language that they speak, and you explain your why and the vision with them, the amount of result you're going to get is so much more profound. If we're talking in today's society of 51% on average of an employee is engaged, that means that your investment is not working. So definitely take the time to get to know your team and definitely take the time to really engage with them. So moving on, customers. Customers, this is huge. When we talk about why we're dumped by our customers, we really want to make sure that the customer feels heard, just like our team. If the customer feels heard, then they're going to spend more time, more money, and more opportunity with you. The difference between a customer and a raving fan is one that feels heard and listened to. Again, in today's time, everybody really has this desire to feel heard and express who they are. This is the beautiful time of connection and technology and social media where we're out, we're speaking, we're on computers, we're in social media apps. We all feel like we have something to say. Now, a customer has something to say and they want to hear what you have to say. The number one thing that I do see that happens over and over again in businesses is they don't engage with their customer in a relationship building way, in a nurturing way. So let's say that, let's just use the dating metaphor. If you spend a lot of time engaging and getting somebody on a date, and then after the check was paid, you never talked to them again, but then you called them up later and said, hey, would you please take me out again? Would you please take me out again? Would you please pay for this again? Well, what's the point? If you haven't engaged in any other way with them, if you haven't ever taken the time to get to know them or acknowledge them or have conversation that builds a relationship, it's a way that the customer is going to feel like you just ghosted me and came out of nowhere to ask me for a sale again. No, thank you. And over again, people are overwhelmed with the amount of asks and requests in their inboxes, and their emails are overwhelming them. So what are you doing differently? How are you taking the time in your business to engage and really nurture, date them, get to know them, really know who your customer is? Maybe there's somebody in your team that can, one of the tips I always give to a client is Get to know all of your customers. Go and look at where they like to go. I mean, maybe there is an opportunity for you to like some of their friends and add value. If you see that everybody is really talking about what they're going to cook for Thanksgiving, what opportunity do you have to share maybe tips or ideas for Labor Day or Thanksgiving? Or where can you really not just ask them to buy for you, but give them value? There is so many different ways and so many different gifts that we have, each of us in our business. Adding value is huge. And I know some of you might have read, has anybody ever read Jab, Jab, Right Hook by Gary Vaynerchuk? It's a great book that really breaks down what to do in a way that's really clear for social media, where the idea is not just ask and ask and ask and ask and ask, but to listen, give value, almost give them a virtual hug, and then you can say, hey, by the way, do you mind if we do this? If you treat your customers just like you would if you wanted to be courted or in a relationship, the real change is that they're going to want to not only work with you, and they'll become a raving fan, and a raving fan will do anything for you. A raving fan will go the extra mile. The raving fan will paint their face and do crazy things for you. But if you don't treat them with that, if you don't nurture them or get to know them, then you're going to be dumped. Adding value is everything. Exactly. Educating people, letting them know, just like Jill says right now, educating people highlights your value. You have something special to say. That's the whole purpose of the show. SASS is standing up for something to say and making your business matter. Your business matters. What you do matters. And if my vision is that every chance I can help a small business owner or entrepreneur stand up for what they really feel gifted they could do, think about the change we can have not only in our small communities, but the change you would have in yourself, of the confidence that you have something to say and it matters, your team, your customers. So just on a small level, but it could grow to a large level. Take these tools and really work with them. Really add value to your team and to your customers. Listen to them. Treat them as a way like you are going to date them. With your team, you don't have to date your team, but you definitely want to make sure that they feel heard, that they know that you understand them, and that the job that you're giving them, just give them the measurable results. Make sure that when you're communicating to them, that you take the time to know what's going on with them and their vision, and trust them. If you don't trust them, why did you hire them? I want to say something right now. If you don't ever believe that somebody in your team is trustworthy, you don't got to get mad to fire them. You just need to let them go. Because in the end, your team matters. That is your investment. If you had a stock that wasn't performing well, you would know it's just the stock. I need to let it go. I need to find something else that works for me. Make sure your investment is something that you watch and you love and you adore and you take care of. Your customers, they're the result of your investment. If you take the time to love and nurture your team, I guarantee you, your team is going to take the time to love and nurture your customers. That's a fact. If your team feels heard, understood, and they know the results you want from them, and they're performing, and they're being acknowledged for it, they're going to absolutely stand up and applaud you and go out of their way to make customers absolutely feel loved too. How you treat your team is the performance you're going to get to your customers. So when we talk through this first D of being dumped, make sure that you truly know who you are so that when you work with your team, you know what vision you stand for. Make sure you know who you are and the vision you have so that your customers absolutely know what you stand for. And treat them like you want to be treated. It's really that simple. And sometimes we make things really complicated. But if you add value and you really listen to what people have to say, and you can do it in a way that doesn't take a lot of time, but it takes sincerity. I want to be really clear. Sometimes we think we're present and we're not. We are so needing to just take deep breaths and actually get into a place where we're listening to what people have to say. Now, there are 7 tips that are absolutely important to really working with high-paying clients. Tips that I used and we had huge results. And on my website now, you can go and you can get these 7 tips and absolutely start using them today. So if you go to crystalclifton.com and you sign in, you can get the 7 tips to get the high-paying customers that really want to be begging to work with you. These work. And these are the things that if you want a team and you want customers that really want to work with you, then go and get that sheet. I'm really excited about putting that together so that I can truly help entrepreneurs and business owners. So go to the website, put your email in, you'll quickly get a download, you'll get those 7 tips. And I also want to let you know, for anybody who does want to book a strategy session, that's there too on the website. You can go and download the 7 tips. If you feel that this is adding value, connect with people, tag people, let's get more people on the show. Also, every week we're going to start, if you want to send in questions about how to handle the high performance you need to get through the day without being distracted, that'll be next week. Then the following week, discounting, how to stay ahead and make profit. So again, crystalclifton.com, get those tips. I really want to help build incredible businesses for all of you amazing entrepreneurs and business owners. And let me know what else I can do for you. Email me, DM me. My email is really simple, crystal@crystalclifton.com. And we absolutely, as small business owners and entrepreneurs, can make a difference. You guys are amazing. I love my SASS tribe, and stay tuned for more exciting information as new things are coming. Tag and join me next Wednesday, invite other people, and definitely check out the new site, crystalclifton.com. If there's anything that I also would love feedback on my site. So if you feel like there's something missing from the site that you would want to see, let me know. I'm here. I'm totally open and vulnerable because I want to be a help to you. So happy Wednesday, you guys. Make it a dancing Wednesday, not a hump Wednesday. Have a great day.